John Paul II was called Mexico's Pope, and iconic images of him are found everywhere, like at this trinket stand in Mexico City. Yolanda Solano has been selling religious souvenirs since she was a teenager and saw John Paul II on 4 separate occasions. She says more Mexicans identify with him than with his successor, Benedict XVI.
He was just so much more full of love for the people, and that's what we lack now in such violent times here.
John Paul II included Mexico on his first papal trip abroad and was greeted by enormous crowds. In death, he's remained beloved. An estimated 27 million people came out to see a glass case containing his blood when it toured here last year. Pope Benedict's first visit to Spanish-speaking Latin America comes 7 years after he became pope, and it follows trips throughout Europe, Africa, and Brazil. We're outside one of the most visited Roman Catholic churches in the world, the Basilica to the Virgin of Guadalupe here in Mexico City. John Paul II visited this site 4 times while Pope, giving sermons to the people. He's much loved here, so much that people still line up to have their pictures taken with his statue. Citing health concerns with the high altitude here, Benedict will skip a visit to this shrine. One other reason some Mexicans see him as aloof and cold. Still, Edgar Gonzalez Ruiz, who writes about politics in the church in Mexico, says the differences between the two are only superficial.
Both popes share a right-wing agenda. They are against abortion, contraception, and gay rights, and they both focus on trying to get the church more involved in politics and government.
After Mexico, Benedict will tour Cuba, where he's expected to push for permission to build Catholic schools and seminaries. On at least one issue, Benedict is actually seen as more progressive than John Paul II. He's addressing the issue of sexual abuse by clergy more aggressively than his predecessor did, often meeting with victims. But for most of Mexico's estimated 94 million Roman Catholics, the specific issues aren't what they look for in a pope. It's more to do with how their religious leaders make them feel. John Paul II used to say he felt Mexican. Benedict XVI will have tough time making the same connection. Adam Raney, Al Jazeera, Mexico City.